start day 6, I guess. Day 6. So I hope you're ready. Today is gonna be a little bit easy because tomorrow we're gonna talk about networking and we're gonna give a brief introduction about networking. So again, guys, welcome to day 6. This is system admin right here. You see he's angry and he's just like pressing on the keyboard. Ooh, he was like fighting for his life. So yeah, this is the system admin. So if you're interested in Linux, you're gonna look like this in the near future, inshallah. Okay, so let's take a look at our content and what we're gonna give out today. So basically, we're gonna give 10 tasks for system admin. We're gonna give a brief introduction about system admin, and we're gonna see all of these with the commands that come with it. And we're gonna like briefly discuss everything. For now, I wanna like point out to something about the network configuration and management. We'll deep down or we'll deep dive into that topic tomorrow, and we're gonna give a brief introduction about networking tomorrow. Okay, so a system admin basically it involves like managing anything that is Linux based, not uh like not exclusively for just Linux, but basically when you say system admin, you can say Linux admin, or he's working on Linux, but there is a Windows admin out there, and we're gonna see that. Like there are admins who like manage a Windows server called the Windows server. Okay, so task 1, we have gave a brief introduction, like in day 2 or 3 about user and group management. So we're gonna go by these like really quickly because do we need our VM today? There are gonna be a few commands that we're gonna run. So if you'd like to do it with us, that would be great. Okay, so the first task for user admins are user and group management. If you remember uh, our command that we use to add, modify users and delete them, and also to do that with the group. So the first task of user and group management is creating, modifying, and deleting users and group and managing permissions and ensuring security. We have done that using these commands, which are change mode and change ownership. These are for file systems, and you manage permissions and ownership. Password, it's password, it's not password. So this is for changing the passwords, the user's password, sorry. And this command that is group add, group mod, group del is for groups, and user add, user mod, user del is for users. So let's make a quick revision. Let's make a quick revision for group and management. So we said if we want to add a user, we can't do that easily because it's going to give me permission denied. So sorry. If we said user add, let's think of a name. Damn, that's the hardest part. So okay, Joe, I guess. So it's gonna give me that permission denied because I need to be in sudo, which is super user do, user add, and then Joe. So if you want to list what users do we have, does anyone remember what how do we list our users? We use some kind of specific path to be like more specific. Do you remember the path? We had 2 paths. So one for the passwords and one for the user. It's kind of in reverse also. So the one for the password is not for the password, and one for the password is in a different name. I'll give a hint. It's etc. It starts with etc. Okay, etc shadow, good start, but etc shadow, yeah, yeah, great. I mean, thank you. It's etc password. Shadow is for passwords. It's kind of in reverse. So if we cat etc password, we're gonna see that. Oh, sorry. I should have put another slash right here. So, okay. So if we see here, right here, we're gonna see that Joe that we have added recently is right here. So here's our Joe, here's our group and user IDs and all this stuff. So if we want to also add a group, or let's modify Joe beforehand. So let's clear our page and then user mod or sudo user mod Joe, and we're gonna give him another name. So let's think of another name. Um, Omar kind of came in the back of my head because so the option is, let's see, if we wanna change a name, I think we should. There's names. I think it's minus. Okay, it's either minus. Yeah, plug in. Okay, so let's do that. So let's say user mod minus L, and then Joe and Omar. User Omar does not exist. That's correct. Maybe let's try and Omar then Joe. Okay, I think that worked. So let's try and captionate it. Yes. So Joe is gone, and now we have modified his username from Joe to Omar. So clear, and now we want to delete him. So let's say user though. Sorry, user Omar. Great. So now if we want to concatenate the users in the etc, we're not gonna see any Omar anymore. Okay, we can do the same thing for group add. So if we said group add engineers, and then if you want to check the groups. So does anyone remember what's the password for groups? Or how to show list the groups? It's the same as users, but it's a different path. So do you remember the path that we use to list the groups? But yeah, it's kind of easy. Okay, so I can do that by using etc group. So slash etc slash group. And we're gonna say we have added engineers and Joe was added from earlier. And now we can sudo, sorry, we want to delete them. Come on, move that. So sudo again, sudo group do, group do. Let's remove eng and let's remove Joe. And then if we want to concatenate the groups again, we're gonna see that eng and Joe are disappeared. So clear. Okay, great. So we have made a quick revision on user and group management. We have already done that in depth. What's again the question? I have said that. How can we list the groups? Okay. So a basic revision on users and group management. So the next task is gonna be more interesting, I guess, based on what I remember. Okay. So move to the next slide. Okay, it's file system management. It's more interesting. As I remember, it's gonna get like more interesting when we go like more into the slides. So basically, file systems are the basis of Linux. So when we say Linux, Linux is basically a file system. We have said in the first lecture about the hierarchy and the file system hierarchy standard, which is the root, which is the godfather of our entire path. And then we have went into the bin, the boot, the div, the sbin, and the lib, and the dev, the user, the home. We have went through all of them, I guess. Mount and media also, because we're going to use mount. The next slide. So as we see here, that Linux supports various file systems, including ext4 and xfs and btrfs and more. Also, let me show you, if we open Amazon and their console, also this is in Azure. So let me open my AWS console. We're gonna see that also AWS supports multiple file systems. And let's see also in Azure what file system do they support. So let's sign in both cloud vendors and see what kind of file system they both support. I'll share my screen when okay. Okay, great. So let me share my screen now. And let's check it out. So in AWS, the file system, we have Amazon standard, which Amazon keeps like it's provided from Amazon. So let me, it's called DFS. So this is for, see here, file storage for EC2, and it's a file system that is Linux based. So if you came up with a question here, it is an NFS file system. So if you came up with a question, if you want to do the exam and it says what Linux file system is this service, you're gonna say it's EFS or Elastic File System. So here you see it can be dynamic elasticity, fully managed, shared file system, sorry. And also we have FSX, which is also a file storage, but it's third party. So we have, I think, four. I don't know if four. So NetApp on NetApp on tap and OpenZFS. Here you see file Windows file server. That's why I said it's not exclusive for Linux. And you see here FSX for Lustre. So this is for let's say AWS. Okay, so now if we went to Azure and we write file systems or file storage, we're gonna see that we have a few things. So let's check. We have to make an storage account beforehand. So I think we have a storage. We don't. Okay. So let's create a storage account. Storage account doesn't cost you anything to do. So if you do the storage account, and we have no resource group, and we're going to create a resource group here, you can see that everything. Sorry guys, apparently لحاله ما عملت شيء I promise. Okay, so if we created a new resource group and we're gonna call it here we're gonna call it file system, for example. Storage account name, also file system. And then standard, yeah, everything please let it be defaults. It's validation in process. It needs a moment to do so. And we can check out these in AWS console and everything. So when you want to create a storage for something, you have to create a storage account in Azure in AWS. It's it's not it's not an option. You just create it. Like if you wanna use an S3 bucket, you can use it without any storage accounts. Okay, so let's continue until this. Okay, so as we said, so file system means that there is a certain hierarchy that we go through, and Linux supports that. So we said also that the father is the root, and then there's multiple paths or hierarchy under the root. So if we want to check out the tasks for a file system management, we're gonna see that we're gonna create, mount, and unmount file system, or we're gonna manage disk space and file system integrity. So we're gonna make sure that no one is playing around with our stuff. So let's see what kind of commands we can work with. So mkfs, which is make file system, and df and du, which is disk usage, and FSDK, it's for a consistency check. And mount and unmount is a command for mounting and unmounting file system. So let's see here. So if you want to mount, or yeah, it's essential task for accessing and managing the storage devices in Linux. So basically, when we mount it, we're gonna use the path, I think it's /mnt. So if we go to our Ubuntu, which is on break, so let me log in and let me share my screen also. But I have entered the password. Okay. So if we want to say that cat mnt is not a directory, so let's list everything that is hidden. Okay, I think we need to go to the root, so let's do that. So cd dot. Okay, we're now in the home. Now let's try and list everything again. Maybe let's try cat mnt, cat media. Okay, apparently there's nothing. So let's go back again, cd. Okay. Okay, we're not getting anywhere. I want to go to list. Okay, this is what I want to list. So we have the SCS here. It is so mount. Let me concatenate or enter it. Maybe it's better if I enter it. So cd mnc. And then we list everything inside of it. So basically, there is nothing inside of mount because it's a temporary file for media. So or system admin typically put any kind of things that wanna be removed when you're rebooting the device. You can use to put it in mount. So let's do that. Let's go back to home. So cd dot then cd/home, and then ls. Okay, so cd maya. Okay. Apparently there's no maya. Must be super user. Okay, we can use the sudo command. That's fine. I don't remember. I think Amin told me that everything is solved Okay, wrong, bad option, bad super block. Okay, wow. So we're having a lot of errors. Okay, that's good. So I think basically we need some kind of device to enter clear list. Oh my dude. Okay. So basically we need some type of device so we can do this operation. Also here it's the same. So we need some type of device to mount and unmount file system. So and when we're using an EC2 instance and we need to use a file system like EFS on it, you see here it's a managed for EC2. So we're gonna use our EC2 instance and then we're gonna this uh, like مصطلح نستخدم مصطلح mount. So we're gonna mount EFS to EC2. This is the I out of this example I need the word mount because we use it in file systems a lot. So validation failed. That's okay. We don't need that anymore. Okay. So task 3. We said task 1 is user and group management, task 2 is file management, and then task 3 is process management. This is more interesting, I promise. So this or process management is kind of, it shows you real-time data. So when you're working on processes and multiple stuff, and you write some type of commands that I will show you right now, it can show you real-time analysis of everything. So let's do that. So task 1 is monitoring and controlling system processes and ensuring optimal system performance. So if we open, clear that. So if we write our first command, which is stop, it's gonna show us all the processes that are now working. So here we're working on the terminal, the shell, and we're using the top command. It's by me. This is the PID, the process identifier. And you can see here that these are all the processes that are running right now. So I think, so let's get out, which is Control C and clear. So we have this thing that is more human readable. I think it's etched top. So yeah, I think it also needs installing. So PS, it shows us let's write it PS, it's gonna show us the PID and what's running. So let's see 1967. So top is 1967. So wait, let me see. It's not showing anywhere. It's gonna show eventually. So these things are real time. So let's try HTOP. I think it needs installing. So yes, I have to install. So sudo apt install HTOP. Let's install HTOP and check it out. I'm very bad at numbers, by the way. To the apt install HTOP. I like this one. Yeah, I think HTOP is like it makes stuff more readable for us. So it's processing. By the way, I have installed Figlet, and we're gonna try it out like later on. So let me just write it, Figlet hello, and it worked. So if you want to install Figlet, you just try sudo apt install Figlet, and it's gonna install. So if I press enter, it says that we're already to remove it because I have already installed. Okay, so now let's type htop. Yeah. So here's a more human funny. So this is the same thing, but here it shows you some memory, and I think zeros and one, those are the circuits. I don't know. Maybe a little bit of CPU stuff, and one is running, which is the GNOME shell, as you can see here, and there's 113 tasks. Yeah, the cores of the CPU. Yeah. zeros and one are if you took assembly code and computer architectures, these are the circuits of the CPU. So they connect using binary numbers. Everything in computer science is about library numbers. So we're gonna see that tomorrow in networking. We're gonna see that here is system MD, which is system CTO, login, and all these kind of stuff. So let's yeah, I wanna get out. Thank you. Okay, great. So we now we have seen htop and top PS. So if you wanna adjust priorities, which we don't have right now, we don't have any kind of priority like uh, processes that we want to do. You can do it by nice or renice. Also, kill and pico is a command to terminate processes, but be careful using this because if you did and you terminated the wrong process, you may crash the whole systems. Be careful using pico and kill. Okay, so there's a few things we need to know about process states. So there's four states. There is stopped, running, and sleeping, and there is zombie. Zombie, I think, it doesn't have any kind of father. So let's see htop if it's gonna give me these kind of information. I don't think it's gonna give me what's the state of the oh yeah, here it is. Sorry. Yeah. So half of them are kind of sleeping, none are stopped, and there's only one that's running, which is htop. Htop is running because we're literally running htop. So the rest are kind of sleeping, as we can see here. So these are the process states. Okay, let's go to the next slide. So yeah, this is how we change priorities, and they range from -20 to 19. And it's kind of different. So whenever we go down, it has the highest priority. So if you're one, you're the first in line. This is how we're gonna think of it. If you're at number three, you're the third at the line. So priority works like whenever you have the lowest number, you have the highest priority, and vice versa. And this is how we change a priority. We're not gonna do that because we don't have any kind of processes. Anyways, okay, so network configuration and management, which is task four. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about it today, and we're gonna deep dive into it tomorrow to be more specific. So when you wanna configure network interfaces and services or troubleshoot some network issues, there's some commands you can use like ipconfig or IP. These are the same, but some modern devices just use IP. I don't know if mine uses IP. Yes, it does. Maybe it doesn't. Okay, then we need, so let's try ifconfig. I think ifconfig. So yeah, sudo apt install nettools. So this time when I tried like installing my Apache server, it couldn't install anything because apparently it wasn't connected to the internet. So the way I had to figure it out is by sending packets to Google and checking it out. So let's ifconfig. Okay, so here we can see that our net mask is 255, 255, 255, and our broadcast is this number. We're going to talk about these stuff tomorrow, and this is private IP address, which is our IP address, and this is you see an Ethernet, all these kind of stuff. Loopback, we're gonna talk about it. This is loopback, we don't need this because it's clear. Okay, so when I was having trouble installing some kind of packet, I used to check the connectivity for my internet connection. Do I have any kind of internet connection? So the way I was doing that, you can use it by two commands, which are ping and trace route. So if we want to try ping, I have did that in multiple casts. So ping google.com, it's gonna like keep pinging and sending ICMP packets, and you can see here we have sent. It's gonna keep sending if we don't stop. So Control C to stop it. So we're gonna see here that we have sent 11 packets, as you see here, like ISMP sequence is 11 and 0 packet loss. And it's gonna give us the timing. It took like about this kind of much milliseconds. So 0 packet loss means that we are having a good internet connection and there is no packet loss, so that's great. I can go to the virtual machine settings and turn off the internet, and then we can do that. It's not gonna send any packets, and I don't want to do that because it's gonna like give me a headache to do that. So traceroute google.com. Let's try this. Google.com. Okay, I need to install sudo. I think we need to install them, so let's do this. Just copy, paste it. And let's try again traceroute. So these I think are the examples. So ping google.com and traceroute google.com. My virtual machine is kind of old. Doesn't have anything. I have 10% packet loss. It means that you're having a little bit of an internet connection in your virtual machine. It's fine, it happens. So let's do it again. Traceroute google.com. You're gonna see here that it's gonna trace. It's same as ping, but it's more like develop. So one thing I want to note, when you see all of the things that we have to install, like we've installed NetTools, we have installed traceroute till now, and we have I don't remember if we installed anything else, but we have installed multiple things. So things like these can be pre-installed when using Linux, like Kali Linux. So instead of you having to install every cybersecurity package, comes with the device, which is much easier than just installing them and removing them and all this kind of stuff. So Control C, I think it's enough. Yes. So this is gonna trace route and it's gonna give us a lot of information about it. So clear. So oh sorry, clear. Okay. Let me check netstat. I have never used that. So I think yeah, netstat is gonna give us like statistics about our oh, that's a lot. It's gonna give us statistics about our network. It's connected. Let me go up. Okay, so here we have flags type, state, node, and path. You can see a lot of stuff basically. So netstat. I think if we said netstat minus h, it's gonna be more human readable. So let's say man netstat and check what are the available options we have. As man for manual, as we said. So let's go to h. I want to h. C. Okay, basically, I don't think we have h, but let us check. Why not? Okay. Okay, so it's fine. Let's try and do it ourselves. Okay, cute. So let's try and do it. Let's stat minus h. Okay. Apparently there is no h, but there is a command that has minus h, which makes it more human readable. Okay, so those are for networking and configuration management. Let's go to task 5, which is package management, and we have also discussed this task in an earlier lecture. And installing, removing packages, and keeping software packages up to date, which is, as you remember, APT or apt-get, which is advanced package tool for Debian-based, Yum for older version of Red Hat, Fedora, CentOS, or DNF for a newer version, Zyper for SUSE, and Pacman for Arc. So we've been installing like a lot of stuff recently. So let's just make sure that everything is updated. So sudo apt update. Okay, sudo apt update. Sorry. So here we're gonna update our system. So also before installing the stuff or working on your DevOps project, you have to make sure that your virtual machine or your Ubuntu is um, up to date. Okay, great. No, I don't wanna upgrade anything. Thank you. Okay, so tasks, the task 6, sorry, it's about backup and restore management. Those are also one of the things that are really important. So basically, when you're backing up a file or a system, you're having a copy of it. So this helps you with not having a single point of failure, which is a definition you need to know. So single point of failure. Oh, sorry, of failure. So a single point of failure, it's when your system is depending on one thing only, like one server or one it's basically when your system is basically depending on a one server. So you do a backup server in case the server crash, you have something to recover with. So these in cloud are really easy to do. Like you have ABS, which can help you with snapshots. Sorry, snapshots. And you have cron jobs for EC2 instance. We also have cron jobs in Linux, which is called cron or cron tab. So backups, perform regular backups, restoring data as needed. Okay. So we have tar, which archives files. We have rsync, which let's try rsync. I think it's a command. Source and destination. Yes, we have it. This. And then we have DD, which is bit level file copying. This is like bit level, you're going to like basically zeros and one. And cron is schedule backup tasks. So cron is it's an option also that is in S3 buckets also. So we have types of backup. We have full backup, which backs up everything. We have incremental backup like snapshots, and we're gonna see that. So ABS snapshots, let me show you how incremental they are. Um, okay, yes, here it is. So EBS snapshot is an incremental backup, which means that we only save the block on the device that have changes the most recent. So this minimizes the time required to create a snapshot and save storage costs by not duplicating the data. Also, snapshots are point-in-time copies. So yeah, incremental are kind of used in cloud also. And differential is it's different. So it backs up the last full that has changed since the last full backup. Okay, so rsync, it's also one of the most powerful tools for backup and restore management. Yeah. So between different locations. So as we see here, rsync minus AV source and destination. So if we said man rsync, okay, let's check. It's copying from a different name. So if you want multi-host security, AIV, advanced usage. So here, if we open just the man for it, it's going to give you multiple options. Here it is. AV, host disk. Okay, so task 7, we're kind of closing in. There are 10 tasks. So task 7 is about monitoring and performance tuning. So this is more like it's gonna check and monitor system performance and make adjustments to optimize performance. So free uptime, SAR, VM stat, and IO stat. IO stat for input output statistics, and VM is for virtual machines. So let's try free. I think maybe yeah. So this is the free, and this is it shows us the free. Okay, so let's start. Yeah, here it is. Here's the minus h. Okay, so that's great. So let's try free minus minus h. So free minus h. Okay, so I have out of like 2 GB, or are these called gigabytes? Gigabytes. I have used like almost one, so I need to free like a few stuff. Yeah, so minus h is human readable. Let's try netstat and q. Let's try this. So netstat. I've tried netstat before, but let's try it here. QLM. Okay, great. So here we're gonna see protocols, TCP, UDP. We're gonna see send received. We're gonna see like the statistics of everything we have. How many packets have we sent? Like, is it TCP or UDP packets? Okay. So task 8 is all about security management. So implementing security measures and maintaining them. We have fall to ban, which it's against brute force attacks. Is anyone here a cybersecurity student? Like, does anyone knows what a brute force attack is? Okay, so basically a brute force attack is, you see when you have an iPhone, let's see for example, and you forgot the password, so you keep trying all possible numbers there is. So this is a brute force attack, sorry, a brute force attack. It's you try all the possibilities based on a certain library. So old iPhones used to have a 4-digit password, so you have to like multiply 4 by 4 and give all the examples. So maybe it's 0000 or 0100 or 0110. So it's gonna run along all of these possibilities. It's based on statistics, and it's gonna take a lot of time, but people do brute force attacks sometimes. Audit audit D is for audit logs, and password are for passwords, as we have saw in user mod, and passwords are for user and group management, but are related to security. So lock and unlock accounts and lock and unlock passwords. Okay, so let's check if we have any kind of firewall. So UFW is for firewall. I don't think I'm gonna do this right now, but let's say sudo UFY enable. Yes. UFW enable. Do I have a firewall installed even? Yeah, it's active and enabled. So sudo UF states. Let's see the status. It's active. Okay, I'm gonna enable it because I don't need it. I don't need a firewall. Sudo. Come on, sudo FW disable. Is it disable? It's disable. Yeah. Okay. It's gonna disable my firewall. Okay, here you can allow rules. So let's do that. Why did I disable my? So let's enable, and let's only apply a rule to accept SSH protocol. So sudo UFW allow SSH. We're gonna take that tomorrow. It's rule added and everything. So SSH is a protocol, and then sudo deny. I think it's deny HTTP. It's gonna, yeah. So it's gonna deny HTTP, and it's gonna allow SSH packets. So let's disable it again. Disable. Okay. So also we have audit audit D. So I think it's needs installing also. So audit D. We need to install it. So sudo apt install audit D. We haven't installed a lot of packages. That's fine though. It's all needed. And then we're gonna start and enable it. So audit is a powerful tool for monitoring and logging system activity for Linux. Okay, let's check that right now. So sudo start. Is it systemctl? I think systemctl before. So systemctl start audit D, and then sudo systemctl. We're gonna talk about systemctl and servers, services and daemons. So enable audit D. Okay, executing. So let's try if we write audit D, what's gonna show us. We must, okay, sure. Sudo audit D. Okay, did not show us anything, that's fine. Okay, so task 10 is updating and patching. Remember, in package management, it's really like it's just one task. You have to keep everything up to date and patched, sorry, using the update, which we did that earlier. So yeah. Task 10 is all about automating updates. So automation of things, as we said, is making the tasks include less human intervention. So as much as it can be automatic, that would be great. Because sometimes we as human, we make errors, which is like fine. It's really fine. But sometimes when you're managing a system, it's not fine because you have a lot on your head. So we need to make things as much automated as possible. So DevOps helps with that. DevOps helps with automation of tasks like Jenkins, Selenium, um, Terraform, like infrastructure as code. These type of stuff are automation tools. So let's see in Linux what kind of automation tools we have. Systemd and cron and crontab. So schedule and automate tasks and manage systems and service. Let's try systemd. So systemd. Okay, man systemd. Let's see what do we have here right now. What kind of options do we have? Okay, so basically, let me go up to the definition of it. Okay, so it's a system and a service management for Linux. When run as a first process on boot as PID, it acts as an initialization system and brings and maintains the system. Yes, so it's usually not invoked but installed as in the sbin. Sbin is for system admins initialization. So sbin, if you remember in our first lecture, we said sbin is for system admin binary file system. Q. Yes. So we can just run systemd like this. Okay, so that's it for today. It was a very like brief lecture. It wasn't a lot. We just like discussed a few tasks of the system admin tasks. And we're gonna talk more when we're gonna talk more about networking tomorrow. So let me stop the recording and start